Hey, hey, what's up, family? What's up, family? Hey, Adrian, Elena, Jackie, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hey, hey, Jack, what's up? Hey, hey, listen, absolutely. I found we gonna dive into our book. Hey, 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 Marty, how are you? Hey, hey, I attract. How y'all doing today? We get into our metaphysical Bible study. We get into our metaphysical Bible study. Do me a favor, share this live. Share this live. Sunshine on this lovely morning. Come on. Hey. 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 Oh, come on in the room. Come on, we'll play this one. We'll play this one for you, Adrian. As we are getting ready to our metaphysical Bible study, do me a favor and share this live. Hey. Hey. Sending you nothing but positive vibes. Hey. Hey. Got you. Gratefully inspired. Hey, fam. Do me a favor and share this live out there. Hey. I'ma put myself first. Hey. Come on. Hey. I'ma put myself. Listen, thank you, Gratefully Inspired. I appreciate you. Why am I doing this face? We're getting ready to get into our metaphysical Bible study. I hope you guys are having an incredible day, incredible morning. And remember, everything that is happening is as it should be. What's up, Jay, the last angel? Hey. Listen, this hair, I just need to start wearing it back because maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I'm just doing too much. Hey, there we go. We'll pull it back. See if I can keep calm. Always first. Absolutely. How y'all doing this morning? If this is your first time here, let me know where you're watching from. Hey. Come on, salsa me. Salsa me. I'm gonna put myself. All right. Well, we might have we're working towards getting towards our subscriber goal. I promise the subscribers, once we get to 29 subscribers, we will have a listening, just chill, just playing music in our Discord. So if you are considering you consider subscribing to the channel. Listen, I appreciate you. We are here building community, building a place where we can have conversations more often and just be around like-minded individuals. So appreciate you. So we're getting into our read today. We got through chapter 4 yesterday. I was going to go back to chapter 3 today to grab the questions. But I feel like if we go back to chapter 3, the questions right now, I might need to do just kind of go back and just kind of recap chapter 3 before we get into the questions. So let's do that. I'm gonna start on page 50 in our book. Because I don't necessarily want to start chapter 5 since the rest of the week we won't be having metaphysical Bible study because I'll be traveling. And so I figured we end somewhere and then we can start chapter 5 on Monday. How does that sound to y'all? Or y'all okay with kind of recapping 3 and going through the questions, and then chapter 5 will start on Monday? Give me a thumbs up or something. Is that cool? Cool. Okay. So chapter 3 was about connecting with your core self. Connecting with your core self. And the goal was find the connection to love in your heart. We have Healing Your Life, a 12-step guide to bringing love, power, and purpose into your life. Come on, Lizzie. And we're going to be live. We're going to be here for the next 10 minutes for those that are not subscribed. You have 10 minutes for this conversation, and then we will go to subscribers only. So something for you to consider. Okay. So here we go. Step 3 was about connecting with your core self, and the goal was to find the connection to the love in your heart. Okay. And then the strategy was enter the silence and accept your life as it is. All right. And then it talked about the spiritual dimension of the core self. Is saying the core self is the connection point between your divine origin and the human incarnation. Hey, come on, Jai. Thank you for the subscription for the second month. Come on. We dialing in. And then it talks about the light behind the shadow, the innocent part of you, the things that you were told, the core self is the innocent part of you that lies behind your shadow. It cannot be seen unless you look with love and acceptance. So that's the light behind the shadow. Let's get into. Then he talked about the core self and the inner child work, which was relating to the things that happened to us when we were children and having to really look at those things. The core self is your energetic connection to love. It connects your heart to heart with other people. When you abide in the core self, you are incapable of judgment. You wanted to send 5 subs, but I'm not allowed. Really, Hector? And maybe once we get to a certain subscription goal, then it would allow you to send subscribers out. That's the last time I checked, because I think the last time I was trying to do that, it was having us we have to get to a certain goal and then we can send subscribers out. So I appreciate you though. So the core self is your energetic connection to love. It connects you heart to heart with other people. When you abide in the core self, you are incapable of judgment. And remember, chapter 4 was talking about owning your judgment and realizing, this is the kicker, that none of our judgments are justified. You cannot think or act in a way that is hurtful to yourself or others. Listen, I had to send an apology text this morning. In the manner that I said it, not what I said, in the manner in which I said it, could have been said better. And when you're doing this work, you really don't want anybody to be hurt by what you said and how you be, even if you deem them narcissistic or whatever that is. Because even that title alone, when we get into talking about narcissism and people narcissists, you can't do that to the core of who they are as a human individual in this body. There is something preventing them from actually operating in love and operating in self-awareness. And if you hold it in that space, it doesn't mean that you have to engage with them as frequently or as often, but it does give you an opportunity to take that judgment off the table and look within yourself to see, where is that judgment that I have about them in me? Woo! Where is the judgment that I make about narcissism and narcissistic people? Where is that in me? And where is that area in me that I don't want to address? Because it talks about those places that we judge, that we don't want to take the judgment off. There's something that's preventing us in us, right? There's a space of denial that we don't want to address, or pain that we don't want to address. Okay? So, in that, let's just get into the truth and illusion. Let's go back to the core self and let's see if we can get through this. Let's see if we can get through this and get through the end of chapter 3. So here we go. Core self and inner child work. The core self is your energetic connection to love. It connects you heart to heart with other people. When you abide in the core self, you are incapable of judgment. Thank you all for the likes and for the shares. You cannot think or act in a way that is hurtful to yourself or others. Shadow work simply cannot be done without a strong connection to the core self and the source of love within. There's too much of a tendency to become lost in the object and to forget to be the compassionate witness. When you look at your fears and buy into them, you make them real. Woo! Come on, because fear is nothing but an illusion, right? When you look at your fears and buy into them, you make them real. You become what you are afraid of, and that is a scary proposition. To keep your sanity, there must be a distance between you and what you see. Otherwise, you may believe that what you see is what you are or what someone else is. Yee, that's a lot to unpack, like the fear in itself. Listen, or the judgments in itself. And sometimes I think the judgments that we make allow us, or how I want to say, the judgments that we make put us in a space of living in fear. And that fear is just an illusion. So we make judgments about people. Now we fear engaging with them because of what we have judged them about. Woo! Think about that. The judgments that you make on somebody else put you in this space of fear. And if fear is an illusion, now we disengage, or we don't want to enact with them because we made a judgment concerning what we believe. Man, and that is a scary proposition. To keep your sanity, there must be a distance between you and what you see. Otherwise, you may believe that what you see is what you are and what someone else is. The truth is that what you see is often seen through your own judgments, woo, and fears, so that you do not see what is. OMG. The truth is that what you see is often seen through your own judgments and fear, so you do not see what it is. So what is? So when we're talking about people we don't like or whatever that is, or people we're judging, we cannot see the other person in their most innocent state. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the share. And this doesn't mean you have to go out and be best friends with them, but this releases you from holding on to unforgiveness in your heart. Come on, somebody. Let's set us free. This doesn't mean that you go and do the work for them, but this does free you up so that you can forgive wholeheartedly. OMG. Let's say that again. The truth is that what you see is often seen through your own judgments. Grand Rising. You say okay. So the truth is that what you see is often seen through your own judgments and fears, so you do not see what is. You see a limited or distorted picture of reality. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. The job of the witness is to see without judgment, to see and release the blocks, to love one by one as they arise. You should speak back. You should speak back. Because at the highest form, yeah, speak back. It does nothing to speak. To withhold love from somebody is to withhold love from self. It does nothing to say hi or hello or you have an amazing day. We may not be friends, we may not interact. I wish you well. And I wish you lived the life that you deserve, which was my best friend would say. And whatever you deserve is however you go about reaping and sowing. And I wish happy healing. Absolutely, Seth. What's up, Seth? Happy healing. And may all your wildest dreams come true. And I release you in love. Happy healing. Because I did that this weekend. Listen, can I be transparent? And I'm going to say this, and we're going to have to go to subscribers only. And we might go to subscribers only right here. Put a mic if it's okay, too. So this weekend, this is... Woo! Yo, this is full thank you for the heart. Full transparency. Full transparency. So, I told you I had my altercation with a family member. Maybe... Mercury retrograde started, so it's probably been like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I let them have it. You hear me? Grand Rising here, all right. Grand Rising, and I want to honor what I said too. So those that I'm gonna see if I can say this in 60 seconds as we go to subscribers only, because the time is up, and I want to honor that. So here we go. So I went into this party for my great grandmother, Grand Rising, and the individual that I had this encounter with came, and I know they saw me and I saw them, and what your boy did was not speak, and it didn't feel good. Not that I was, I had searched my facts and did what I needed to do, as far as because they said I was lying on them, but I had to go and check my resources and say, wait, it's so. Anywho, I checked my resources and my truth was that it was true, right? And so they were in the room, and we did not speak to each other whatsoever. Didn't say a hi, didn't get a wave. I spoke to their children because their children came over to me, but speaking to the individual was a no-go. And I felt more so I could see that they were in a state of hurt. Even though I was free, I saw how my words had impacted them. And so I said that because when you speak to those people, it frees you it frees you, and you still operate as your most authentic self, which is in love, which is love. And so I said all that to say, when people do you wrong, it does nothing to continue to say hello and keep moving. Say hi. It doesn't mean that you have to engage, but to withhold and not be. Especially when, things of that magnitude, I would say, you can be cordial and it still be all good. Okay? Here we go. You see a delimited or distorted picture of reality. The job of the witness is to see without judgment, to see and release the blocks to love one by one. Listen, if you want to heal, my mentor said it like this, and we call her Mama Iyanla. She said it so on point. Forgive. Hey, Seth, forgive everyone for everything. Forgive everyone for everything. Because here's the truth. We are all evolving moment by moment. Moment by moment, day after day. You have no idea what's going on in that person's head. Even if they never say sorry or whatever that looks like. The forgiveness is never about them. It's always about you, so that your energy is clear. So that your energy is clear. Let me say that one more time. So that your energy is clear and you get the healing that you need. Thank you for the rose, fam. The job of the witness is to see without judgment. Thank you for the heart. Is there a heart? Is there a heart in the house today? Yes, it is. The job of the witness is to see without judgment, to see and release the blocks to love one by one. Thank you for the share, Beth. As they arise. So as judgments come up, he observes them compassionately. He knows that they are not true, and so he does not try to hold on to them or justify them. He does not make the one he judges wrong or bad. Ooh. He does not make himself wrong or bad for judging. He sees his judgments without identifying with them, and so he does not make them real. The witness steps back and looks at the content of his own consciousness. He sees how his judgments and fears color his experience of reality. He sees that they are a big drama that he can buy into or not. He sees that his judgments, listen, this one is good. He sees that his judgments and fears color his experience of reality. He sees that they are a big drama that he can buy into or not. He sees that when he buys into the drama, more drama arises. My goodness. When he buys into the drama, more drama arises. When he buys into the drama, more drama arises. And he sees that when he no longer buys into it, he begins to see what is more clearly and peacefully. Come on. It's just about learning how not to buy into the drama. How do I not buy into the drama? When I realize that somebody's shenanigans is not about me. And everything that is in me that has been triggered is about me and is not somebody else's responsibility. Listen, What is triggering me is about me, and what is triggering them is about them, and we move in a way that we just know how to resolve those issues. I think, Hector, in my opinion, I think it's in regards to, this is such a layered question. In my opinion, you address shenanigans with somebody that's willing to help you heal those areas. And I think it's about you testing to see, you having the conversation, and you can address the shenanigans within those relationships that you're working to build and grow through. Because what it will show you, it would show you if they're willing to hold space for you as you heal. And then if they see how their shenanigans triggered you, it's also an awareness for them as to how they might be moving in other areas of their life. But if it's a shenanigan that you've addressed and it's a repeated offense, thank you for the heart, fam. And it's a repeated offense, then that might not be in a shenanigan that you want to address, because it may only frustrate you. But if it's in a relationship where you feel safe, you feel seen, you feel heard, then it's okay to address that shenanigans, if you ask me. Hopefully that helped. All right. Here we go. The witness steps back and looks at the content of his own consciousness. He sees how his judgments and fears color his experience of reality. He sees that there are big drama that he can buy into or not. He sees that when he buys into the drama, more drama arises. And he sees that when he no longer buys into it, he begins to see what is more clearly and peacefully. The witness looks at the contents of consciousness and removes the blocks to love. When his heart shuts down, he realizes that his muscles have contracted and that fear is coming up. He learns to take a breath and breathe with his fear. He rides out the wave of fear until it breaks and falls away. As he does this, he begins to fall into his heart. He begins to sink down beneath the layer of consciousness permeated by fear. He moves beyond shame and blame into a quiet place. He begins to feel energy in his heart as he realizes that he is okay the way he is. Others are okay the way they are. Life is acceptable just the way it is in this moment. The more he accepts, the more the energy intensifies in his heart chakra and begins to move throughout his body. He begins to feel the energy of love as a palpable presence. There we go. Get it out, Titus. An intense vibration, a kind of burning bush in his heart, the heat of which extend his hands and feet, his throat and his belly, his root and his crown. Gradually, love permeates and inhabits his whole body, and he is filled with light and grace. As you learn to sit in the silence and seek into your essence, your heart of hearts, you encounter the one who is innocent, whole, and complete. You meet the one who lives in acceptance and bliss. That one is within you. So he is the one you truly are when you leave the drama of the world behind. Come on. And we need to learn how to leave the drama. Learning how to leave the drama is essential. We don't have to buy into it. We do not have to buy into the drama. Truth and illusion. The core self is the light behind the shadow. When we look compassionately at the shadow, we realize it is all illusion. It is a construction of our shame and our fear. It is not ultimately real. What is ultimately real is what stands behind it. Until now, the light has been hidden behind the shadow. But when we meet the shadow without fear, we can see the light behind it. But when we meet the shadow without fear, we can see the light behind it. Beneath your guilt, come on, take this in. Beneath your guilt is your innocence. The latter is real, the former is not. Guilt occurs only when you lose sight of your innocence and buy into someone else's story about you. That story is not true, not for you nor for them. When you know that, you don't take the story on. You say, that's an interesting story, but I don't think it's true for me. You see that the shadow arises when we believe something that is not true about us or another. It is not ultimately real, but it seems to be real when most people believe it and act according to their beliefs. That is why it is so hard to challenge the dominant reality of the world that perpetrates shame and blame. Listen, we're trying to shame, we're trying to blame everybody when we're in our feelings versus taking ownership. It seems to be real enough. One person hurts another and the other hurts him back. Each is just proving out his belief. This is the line I was looking for yesterday, because this right here is good. I might have to turn this into a reel, because this is it. One person hurts another and the other hurts him back. Each is just proving out his belief. The strange thing is that he can prove out his belief and it can still be completely wrong and delusional. Woo! You be holding on to your belief, trying to prove a point, and your belief have got you living in a world of delusion. Each one of us will have an experience of the world that conforms to his beliefs about himself and others. This experience may be painful, but it still may be difficult to challenge. This experience may be painful, but it still may be difficult. Hold on. This experience may be painful, but it still may be difficult to challenge. People think this is just the way it is, but in truth, it is just the way they perceive it to be. Man, whatever a person perceives seems real enough to him. He identifies with what he perceives, accepts it as truth, and lives his life according to that truth. But that truth might not lead him out of suffering. Come on! Woo! Fam, are we getting this? Whatever a person perceives real enough, whatever a person perceives seems real enough to him. He identifies with what he perceives, accepts it as truth, and lives his life according to that truth. But that truth might not lead him out of suffering. It might not help him to live a happy and fulfilled life. Indeed, it may be the primary cause of his suffering. Listen, yet until his pain is very great, he may not question what he believes to be true. He may not know that he has the power to liberate himself, just as he had the power to put himself in prison. Woo! Listen, y'all. Listen. This is why when people talk about the world is out to get them, you're right. Because that's the reality that you are creating. There are no good men out there. You're right. Because that's the reality and the belief that you're holding on to. Oh, they are narcissists. They doing all this. They doing this. You're right. Because that's the belief that you're holding on to. Whatever you believe is going to control your perception of everything. Ooh, man. Whatever you believe is going to control your perception of everything. Yeah. Listen, I'm going to say that one more time. Whatever you believe is going to control your perception of everything. Sooner or later, the pain gets too much to bear. That's when we get on our knees and ask for help. That's when we begin to question our assumptions and open up to looking at things differently so that we can make different choices. The false self will self-destruct sooner or later. The false self will self-destruct sooner or later. Humpty Dumpty will fall off the wall and smash into thousands of pieces. The world that we built in fear and shame will shatter when we can no longer bear the pain. And then everything will change. Listen, everything you believe controls how you perceive. I'm sorry, that came up. I'm writing it down for myself. Everything you believe will control how you perceive. Whew, that is good to me. So when I think about that, my mind is taking me to places to where I haven't maybe showed up as my best. And how can I be in a space to where I can allow myself to believe something different? Not to be a fool. Come on. That's not what I'm saying. Not to be a fool about things around, but how to be in a space to where I see you, I see what I'm feeling, but I hold space for the core of who we are. So that way I can treat you in a way that is loving while also loving myself. This is not to mean I'm going to embrace foolishness, but this is to help me control how I deal with you and how I show up in a way that is loving on all accounts. No matter if it's speaking my truth, no matter if it's saying something to say, hey, I love you, but I need to share this with you because I felt offended this way, and I need to bring this into your awareness so that you are aware. Come on, somebody. But if I hold on to the belief that they're bad, they doing this, then there's a blockage. And I don't allow myself to maybe cross over into another way of being. Am I making sense, fam? All right, I'm trying to get to the questions. I'm sorry. When the shadow integrates, nothing can block the light of the core self. It shines forth unfettered and free, illuminating all the worlds and levels of manifested existence. There is no place where its light cannot reach. There is no place that cannot be touched by its love. This is why we do this work, to sink into our essence, to bring our darkness to light, and to become the light that we are, so that we can go forth and fulfill our creative purpose and give our gifts to the world. Your core self is innocent, whole, and complete. It is your essence. It is the shining one you are. When your heart is open to love, you know that you and everyone else is worthy of acceptance and love. The core self, the false self, and the true self. When you try to act without a connection to your core self, all that you create is wound driven. Every attempt to act with this connection is simply wrongdoing. It leads to wrong relationships, wrong livelihood, and all other expressions of self-betrayal. These are the activities of the false self. When you meet and align with the core self, everything you do is congruent with it. As a result, you spontaneously honor self and others. This leads to right action, right livelihood, right relationship. These are the activities of the true self. The false self betrays the core self. The true self honors the core self. Indeed, it can be said that while the core self is not in the world, the true self is the engine of its expression in this world. Making time for self-communion. To be a light bearer, you must have the courage to enter the dark tunnel of your shame and pain and reclaim your innocence. You must learn to hold your fears gently and bring love to all the wounded places in yourself. Your most important practice is to take time in silence each day to connect to your core self and the presence of love in your heart. You connect to your core self by letting go of your judgments, accepting your life experience just as it is, and by feeling gratitude for all the gifts you have received. When you feel connected to love, you sink into your essence and know it deeply and without question. You reclaim your innocence and bring love to all the wounded places in yourself. Then you can emerge from the darkness holding the light, first for yourself and then for others. The choice to connect with your core self and to learn to trust it is the most important decision you will make. Making time and space for this connection may require a reordering of your priorities in life. So here's the questions, fam, that we can get into. Important questions to ask yourself. When I am connected to my core self, do I notice that shame and blame fall away and I see my innocence and that of others? I'll say it again. When I am connected to my core self, do I notice that shame and blame fall away and I see my innocence and that of others? Next question. What was my most profound experience or encounter with my core self, and how did it change my life? I think my experience with my core self is like telling my story. I feel like that is my core self, me being in this space, me tapping into ideas and ideologies, freeing myself of people's opinion about me being same gender loving or a divorcee. Really, those things, or even talking about being a divorcee and getting into the essence of who I am with no judgment. I feel like that has been, those experiences of talking and sharing my story has really been freeing to me. When did I feel most disconnected from my core self? This is the next question. And most out of alignment with the truth of my being. I want to say when I was married. Crazy enough. Or sometimes when I go into religious environments and I'm like, this is not me anymore. And I'm like, this is my best friend just entered the room. Y'all say hi to Carter Notes. So when did I feel disconnected from my core self and most out of alignment with the truth of my being? Next question. To what extent am I looking for answers? Ooh, this is a good one. To what extent am I looking for answers outside of myself versus finding the light and the love of the connection within? Hey, my best friend, I love you. I love you. To what extent am I looking for answers outside of myself versus finding the light and the connection to the love within? Morning. And that's through this whole telling off people, and like I had to go within and be okay to say, you know what, Titus, that there's still some triggers there, but now I'm more aware that the insecurities about my manhood can be looked at in a more compassionate way. Whether I'm a feminine man or a masculine man, I'm still man. And I can define that and I can empower that versus allowing other people's opinion and judgment and fears that they have be projected onto me and how I'm living my life, which is free. And here's the last question in this space. Do I take time each day to enter the silence and connect with my core self? Do I take time each day to enter the silence and connect with my core self? My answer is yes. What is your answer? Because this is, for me, I've had to learn how to do this practice of just sitting and being still. And even sometimes between lives, sitting and being still. Because in the silence, you just get some awarenesses. Not in the silence, but I would say coming out of the silence. Things just be hitting you. So it's kind of like, hey. So yeah, fam. We this book, listen, getting us all the way together. Being still, absolutely. Absolutely. And in this space of my growing, like sometimes being on live is me being still. It's teaching myself how to be still. Just being in this spot, because I like to move around. I like to be doing things. And especially when, when I'm doing readings and stuff like that. If somebody's not doing a reading, sometimes in full transparency, I'm like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? But Spirit is showing me how to just be still. And I have found that even sometimes going live and being still and not trying to figure it out and just be, people come in the room and have a conversation, something said to inspire. You see what I'm saying? I've even outside of live, if it's not being in the live. Sorry. My prayer partner asked me a question. In that space, I'm having to really work. What was I gonna say? Sorry, I got sidetracked. Being still outside of live, I have even found that there's a peace that I get up with. Especially for those that are working through anxiety and worry and being everywhere at the same, or being different places. Like finding moments just to okay, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to shut my mind off, even if just for 5 minutes, is a powerful thing. So yeah, but fam, that's what I got for y'all today. Do y'all have any questions for me? Friend, I need to call you. Are you busy? Is your schedule full today? I had something I wanted to unpack with you. And thank you for the rose. Thank you for the roses. Well, cool, fam. I hope you guys have the most amazing day. Carter Noakes, if you're free, let me know. I'm gonna text you, or I'm gonna just call you.